Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Wolfsbane podcast. Today I'm joined with a very special guest, and I've known him for a very long time. He is an extreme anime enthusiast, and he's also a multilingual person, meaning he knows a lot of languages, and one of the languages he does know is Japanese. So today I would like to welcome Varun Diwan. Varun, how are you?
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. I'm really good. I'm happy to be here, and I'm just really excited to start the podcast. Let's go.
I know. I remember. I even remember the first time I told you about wanting to start a podcast, and I know how excited you were as well. So this is like
Oh yeah,
finally.
I remember that. I remember the 1 hour phone call, man. Yeah, we just discussed what all you're gonna do on the podcast. It was fun, man.
Exactly. I know. And like even during that time, you remember like you told me to watch this new anime of yours that you started watching called Odd Taxi. So like
Oh, you did you watch it?
I did. I actually watched like I only got the time to watch the first episode, but oh my god,
Uh-huh.
it's actually like funny. Like it's genuinely funny. The
Thanks.
the taxi driver is so savage. It's actually it's re-
Yeah, I know. I mean, he just gives that low-key, he doesn't give a shit feeling. It's
yeah.
actually very entertaining. You have to watch the rest of it. It's pretty good show. Like I would say its animation isn't like really fancy or anything, but its story is really captivating once you like get into the anime. It's super good.
I know. Like I noticed exactly what you said when you said the story isn't
Uh,
like the animation isn't captivating because even I've seen like the level some of these animations can go to. But I was actually really surprised with the storyline and how funny it was because I wasn't expecting all of that. So I just wanted to ask you, how do you come across all these like new stuff? Do you have like once you finish an anime, do you usually have like a list which you follow, or do you just want like stumble upon new animes?
Usually, I do keep a list of. Actually, I just keep a lookout for what anime I'm about to watch. So, suppose the summer season ends, and I'm just looking forward for the next season. I'll just check in whatever anime seems interesting. I will look at the reviews by critiques or anime YouTubers, and well, decide from their critique whether I want to watch this anime or not. Most of the times I just get straight into an anime.
Honestly, that's actually really funny because I've never heard the word antubers before. Is that what you said?
Yeah, annotators, it's a term.
That's like a really funny term. And like, yeah, I'm sure like you keep like up to date in terms of the stuff in terms of what releases and what's going to release like next week, next month, etc. So, I
Yeah,
mean, that's why I call you like a complete anime enthusiast. You definitely
thank you.
know as much as a person can regarding the topic.
I Yeah, usually what would considered be lazy is now working in my advantage. I just take any compliments I can get. you know yeah, I mean, I just sit around and watch a lot of anime, and now next thing I know I'm being called on a podcast. So yeah, it's great.
I mean, I'm glad to have you here. So,
Yeah.
even in our taxi ride, one thing I
Yeah.
really noticed is apart from the humor in the show itself, the subtitles sometimes can catch you off guard, right? And
Yeah.
so that's what
Mhm.
I wanted to talk to you about basically, like the entire subtitle versus dub debate, right? So, what do you normally prefer when you approach an anime? Do you listen to them both and then choose which one you like better, or do you just go with the flow kind of thing?
No, I never do that actually. I mostly always go for subtitles. Honestly, in my mind, I believe that the original audio which has been used for the anime is way better than the one which has been dubbed over the anime. Not always the case, and frankly, I have nothing against dub because that's just helping spread the word of anime and making anime more mainstream. But usually I just steer clear of dub anime as a whole and just go for sub. Yeah.
So, do you normally think it's like only like a difference between voice actors? Because as I think everyone knows, it's very popular that Japanese, especially in terms of anime, sometimes female voice actors can be really like light in their voice, and males can have again really lighter voice. So, do you think it's just that factor, or do you think it's a big language factor as well? The Japanese sometimes has a lot more emotion to show in terms of anime than just English, I guess.
Well, it's not on the voice actors. Usually, there are great dub voice actors who do a good
Hunter.
job for them. But I feel like the main problem lies in the language barrier itself, not the actors. In Japanese language, there are a lot of expressions and a lot of ways things can be said, which would sound uncanny when said in English. So I feel like that's the main reason for why people choose sub over dub. I think for the people who choose dub over sub are well just compelled to. They are not in for the learning curve of just reading subtitles continuously and getting used to it. They just want something easy. They might be casual viewers or hardcore anime fans. Who knows? You know?
So like sometimes it's like normally it's happened to me before, but usually whenever
Hmm.
I watch the first episode, depending on what if it's sub or dub, like if it's usually the first episode is sub and I like it, I usually keep it that way, and if it's usually dub and I like it, I keep it that way. So
Okay.
do you just directly straightly dive into sub, or do you like give dub a go as well sometimes? Because I know you're learning Japanese and it's like a big thing to like kind of go across all these different animes, like
Yeah,
check
yeah.
out your vocab as well. So do you think it's only a
Hmm.
preference for you because you're learning the language, or it's just like a general preference to want to basically watch it in the language it was made in? Do you think it's that preference or that way? Do you think
I
you're biased?
I think like I do have a personal bias towards the original sound which was used, the original audio, the original voice actors. I do have a personal bias for them, and there's another reason for that. Like usually, when you have the dub sounding anime, it sometimes it sounds really funny. Even when there are a couple of serious moments in an anime, it would just sound really funny. Like the Japanese voice actors don't intend to be funny, and neither do the English ones, but it just comes as such. I don't know what's the reason behind it. I think it's the same language barrier, but for some reason the atmosphere completely changes when there is dub into the equation.
So have
So
you
yeah, I mostly just straight dive into sub. Yeah.
so like have you ever watched like an anime where you actually prefer the dub over the sub, or like has there
Oh,
been none?
yeah, yeah. I have. There have been a couple of instances. For example, Death Note or Love is War. These are the two animes which I have watched and have actually preferred dub over sub. Not that the sub are bad either, it's just that the dub was phenomenally good and I really, really enjoyed it for once. I was actually fairly surprised by how good Love is War was. I would suggest anyone, listening to the podcast to give it a go. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and since like Death Note is such like a popular show, it's normally like an anime lover's first pick to try and recommend to others, especially a new.
Yeah.
I know, so
Yeah.
like it's definitely one that people might like actually enjoy watching the dub as well. So that's like
Hmm.
really nice. And considering the fact that all of these shows, like most of anime is made in Japan, right? And there's suddenly been like this new mainstream idea of like western animes coming into the picture with like shows like Castlevania, and obviously you have the extremely famous Avatar Airbender. So
Hmm.
what I would want to ask you, what do you really consider anime? Is like Japanese anime the original and always will be kind of thing, or are you like as a hardcore fan willing to consider western animes as anime as well?
Uh, okay. So I've heard this discussion both ways. I've heard both sides of the argument as well. And to me, it really just doesn't make any sense. For me, anime can be both of them. Either it's made in America or any other country or Japan. I use Anime isn't just about the language, I would say. A lot of small components go into making an anime. So if you were to just ask me what an anime is, I wouldn't be able to clearly answer it. But I could say that Avatar and Castlevania do feel like an anime. So I would categorize them as anime, you know? I don't have anything against them. I really enjoy them.
Exactly, and like the fact where you have like a normal Japanese anime that has like a sub and dub. I'm sure Western animes have subs and dubs as well in like local languages such as Japanese. But do you think if you switched the roles, like if you reverse the roles, if English was the original language, like suppose in a show as Castlevania and then it was dubbed in Japanese, would you think there would be any difference compared to your previous statement?
Well, I think so. I think it would be a little different. I don't know what else to say about it. I have never actually heard Castlevania in in Japanese language before, so I don't have any idea about that one.
Yeah, actually, same because I was just curious. I was thinking about it and I
Hmm.
realized, oh, what if you switch the roles? Like, this can get really interesting. So I
Yeah,
was
it
just,
might.
I know. And like, especially since a lot of people, like, I don't know, maybe it's just like the lazy side of people that like watching dub more than having to read the subtitles and watch the anime. But maybe it's just like a
Hmm.
preference at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
And
totally.
but do you really think there's like any major studio differences? Like when we talk about Western versus Japanese anime, do you think like the animation, I guess, is better in any way in either of these two? Like one outweighs the other or outdoes the other in any way? Or do you think they're roughly on the same level?
Well, if you're comparing just animation studios, like animation studios and Japanese animation studios, I feel like they both have a very different feel to them, you know? So I wouldn't really compare them as into just one animation category. But I do have to say, in some areas, anime does have an upper hand, but in others, Western has an upper hand too. You know, it just depends on what you're showing to the viewers and what the genre is. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. And there have been so many cases where two different studios have done like the same show, like especially like Attack
Oh
on
yeah,
Titan,
yeah, yeah. I
sorry.
know. Uh huh.
So
Yeah.
what did you really
I've
think about that studio change?
I I didn't think much of it. Like, okay, so I saw this huge argument going on Twitter, and I thought like, was there a difference? Because I didn't notice a difference. I didn't notice much of a difference. I didn't think the CG was bad on the Titans. I really like the new change overall. Like, it was good. It was the new season of Attack on Titan. Everybody was talking about it. I feel like it's only like Wit versus Mappa was only between those who were really, really obsessed over the anime. Like, at the end of the day, you do have to remember that it's an anime and it's not your life, you know? There is a lot of things which go into making an anime, and I'm sure Mappa had to make some hard choices. Some things they did very well, some things they might have even done better than Wit. So all of those things going into consideration, I feel like there isn't much difference when a studio change happens, you know?
So, if I really had to ask you, right, did you actually
Yeah.
prefer Wit or Mappa's version of the anime? What would you say?
I don't know. Okay. um, I I would slightly lean towards Wit. Okay. Yeah. I mean, just from the 3 seasons they did a solid job. Okay. I really loved it. Just because of that little hike in experience they have, I just give it to Wit. Just for that. Otherwise, it's a very close fight, I would say.
And even when you actually put those two studio comparisons together, you can actually see the difference in color. Like the lighting seems a little bit lighter in the Wit studio production versus the Mappa one. So, do you think it was
Yeah.
like because it was done in such a short time, or do you think if Mappa were given a little longer time, they would have outdone what Wit did? Because definitely the animation was still really good. It was just the color palettes that were missing here and there. So, do you think they would have done a better job if given more time?
Well, given time to any studio, they would do a good job. If they have had ample of time, they would work on it, right? But I feel like the light versus dark part you're talking about, I think it was just an artistic choice. I don't think it was anything made from the rush of time, really. It wasn't that they were compelled to do it. I thought they just did it because I don't think it really depreciates the value of the anime. But yeah, I mean, they were a little short on time, I would say.
Yeah, they definitely were, and I think a lot of people like
Hmm.
kind of hated the season a little bit more just because of the bias of animation, even though the storyline was still good. They still
Yeah, I have
had.
seen that one. Uh-huh.
Exactly, especially since it was so famous till season 3. I mean, it was one of the most watched animes as well, considering the storyline was so good. And it was currently like the trend was to tell the story to everyone in class and make sure to encourage them to watch the show because it was so good. Like, I've seen so many comments on YouTube saying, "Oh, I don't normally watch anime, but this one was amazing." So, like, was that the
Yeah,
same
I know
reaction
that.
with
I know
you?
that. Like, yeah, it was the same thing with along everybody around me. Like even some of my family members, it was kind of weird, you know. Those who have never heard of anime just suddenly knew what Attack on Titan was. So I was a little surprised. Yeah, I would say that was the opening boom to how anime started to become a little more mainstream. You know, I just think that is like I cannot accurately pinpoint it, but sure, yeah.
So was Attack on Titan one of the first kind of animes you watched?
No, it's
So
not.
which was the
So
first one?
okay. So this is a bit of a story, but I'll try to keep it short. Okay. So in 2016, early 2016, I started studying Japanese. Studying Japanese was completely an academic pursuit of mine. Like it wasn't behind anime or anything like that. I just thought learning one or two foreign languages would actually be appreciated on my resume. You know, it could help me communicate better with people, and that it would just be an experience. I used to work with those heavy textbooks, like reading practice, writing practice. I had gotten even one of those charts to learn kanji better. And I think 4 months into learning Japanese, a friend of mine introduced me to an anime called Death Note. Yeah, I know, pretty cliche choice, but yeah. So Death Note was my first anime, and I really, really enjoyed it. So like, and not just because of the story, it was really good, but because I was excited that I could actually understand something in the anime without having to read the subtitles or switch to dub. So from then on, I just, you know, held anime as one of my supporting pillars to learning Japanese much more fluently and much more quickly. Although I would not recommend anybody to solely depend on anime to learn Japanese. Like I've seen a lot of people do that, and they say like, "Ah, yeah, I'll watch anime and I'll learn Japanese in some time." So yeah, it's not anime alone which would help you learning a language. That
Yeah,
was my first
and
anime and that experience.
exactly. So that was your first anime, and when was that exactly? Like year-wise?
Yeah, 2016. I said,
Wow. So it's been like 5 years, if my math is right.
yeah,
Yeah, 5 years. And in that 5 years, I'm sure you've seen a lot of, like, many more animes as well. So, like,
yeah,
with,
yeah.
do you have, I
I,
mean, of course, I would ask you what your top five are, but other than your top
uh,
five, I also want to know which your, like, what comes under your worst five animes? Like, what are your worst five animes? So, let's start positive. Let's
worst
start
five
with the top
animes.
five
Okay.
ones, and then we can move on to, like,
Okay.
the worst five.
So this is actually a pretty difficult question, although it's a very common question. It just so happens to be one of the more difficult ones because the list is often fluctuating. It's often changing. So for top five anime, let's see. You mean like series and movies as well, like both combined?
Yeah, sure. Like any, like you said, like anime can be a movie, series,
Mm-hmm.
anything. Up to you. That's under your
Yeah.
preference.
Okay. So I would put number one at Makia. Number two for Wolf Children. Number three would be Spirited Away, a classic. Everybody loves Spirited Away. Number four would be I would have to say Haikyuu. I really liked Haikyuu. It's one of my favorite animes, and it's a sport anime. And yeah, that's it. That's Wait, did I say four or did I say five? I'm sorry, I lost count.
You said four, but I mean, I can leave you at
Oh,
that.
okay.
If you want, if you have a fifth one, that's also okay.
Okay, yeah. I have a fifth one. I have a fifth one. Okay, so fifth one would be Hyoka. It's a pretty underrated anime, I would say. It has a really good animation, and it's very dialogue heavy based. So I think that's why many people haven't watched it yet. I really enjoyed it. So that would be my top five.
I mean, as like a
Oof.
beginner anime fan, I've only really heard of Haikyuu, but I'll take your word for
Yeah.
it because I know you're really like into anime and all. So that's definitely
You
like,
have to watch all of them, and they are really good. A lot of them are underrated, but they are just, you would enjoy them after you watch them. It's an experience.
I mean, coming from a
For
person who's watched so many animes, I might as well because you'd probably know which ones are better. I know. That's really
Yeah.
nice. So I was just going to
Okay.
come to that, right? Since you have watched so many and you have your like top five, etc., what anime would you really like recommend to someone who's not watched any yet, and to like kind of let them get into anime more often, or like a really good show to get them into it that way?
Okay. So, like a beginner's guide, you say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would recommend them Full Alchemist, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's a really good anime to get into. Even if you don't watch anime, it has slight of a sinister feeling to it, and it's a high adventure. It's not too long and not too short either. So I guess any beginner anime viewer can easily enjoy it. You know, I would recommend
Okay.
that.
And before we forget, I
Hmm.
want to come back to your worst five animes
Oh,
because I'm not going to
oh my
let you
god.
get away with that.
Oh my God. Okay. Man, this is harder than the top five. Okay. Because, oh my, I'm actually a very picky anime viewer. So, I just told you, I look at the critiques, I look at the reviews, I look at everybody who's been talking about the anime, and then I start watching it. So it's rarely that I don't enjoy an anime I watch. But if I had to say, I would say Berserk 2017 is the one I've watched, and I couldn't watch, you know, ahead of one episode. And actually, a disappointment I would have to say is God of High School, the quite recent anime. God of High School was actually a bit of a disappointment towards the end, and even Tower of God. So, on top of my head, I can only think of these three. I'm sure there are a lot more I've watched and I've just forgotten about them. But yeah, I cannot complete your five top worst anime viewer list. But yeah, you have to work with three.
When I heard the word Berserk, because I was a little
Hmm.
bit surprised because I've heard that so many times. Like, is there like a particular season you don't like, or were you talking about like a specific movie or a series, or because I've heard the word Berserk a lot and normally in like positive ways. So,
Oh yeah, I think the positivity you're talking about must be coming from the manga, because the Berserk manga is very popular. Unfortunately, I haven't read it yet, but I do plan on reading a manga. I haven't read any manga yet, though. Berserk altogether wasn't that good. I think it was mostly because of the CG. It just seemed very lazy and clunky. It just seemed unbearable to watch. I didn't like it, you know.
and like talking about just like that you didn't read the manga, like are you usually like a manga person? Like do you like reading manga, etc.?
No, I I just said I haven't read a single manga yet. So I mean I do plan on reading one. Like I haven't I don't know, I'm just an anime watcher overall. Like I I cannot really I haven't really tapped into the surface of manga yet, you know? Once somebody starts really getting into anime, it's kind of hard for you to really get into manga as well. A couple of my friends did start reading manga, and they tell me like, wow, it's actually pretty good, the experience. You would notice a little bit of difference, obviously, like because the pictures aren't moving here. So I mean, that I guess that's a pretty big difference. But they said overall experience, you could say manga and anime just come head to head. So
And
yeah.
so, would you say it's like fair to compare like manga anime with like a normal movie who's had like a very famous book, like a very famous book written, and it has sold like thousands of copies, etc., and then turned into like a live action? Like even Harry Potter, it was very famous before it was turned into a movie. And
Hmm.
sometimes like a lot of hardcore Harry Potter fans encourage people to read the book as well as see the movie, not just see the movie. So, do you think it could be fair to compare like anime the same way? Like, if you're really like, if you're a hardcore Attack on
Hmm.
Titan fan or a hardcore Dragon Ball Z or One Punch Man fan, do you think it
Okay.
is? kind of necessary for you to watch the manga as well as the anime so that you are up to date, or pay like a bigger tribute to the writers and the animators?
I mean, I would have to say like it really depends on the person, you see. So I feel like the stages of popularity go like this. So once the manga gets popular, it gets an anime, and then the anime gets popular and gets a live action, which is always that good. But I hope we are working on it, right? We are still in the learning curve. We are still in how to make the anime live action look good. Okay, but I would have to say it doesn't really depend on whether you read a manga and an anime. I've heard some people tell me that, oh, you have to read the manga, man. The manga is so much better than the anime. And while others have told me read the manga and watch the anime, and others like me have just watched the anime. So I would say it just depends on your preference, really. I am more of an anime person, just like I said earlier. Like I haven't read any manga, but that doesn't make me less of a fan. That doesn't reduce the experience for me. And I don't think that should make anybody feel guilty or forced into reading manga either. They can just do as they wish, and it's a means of entertainment. You can just entertain yourself the way you like. Yeah.
And exactly, so getting into that, I just wanted to like talk to you about like the pirated websites versus having like a separate stream service to watch anime as well, because it's a growing platform. More and more people are getting into anime every day, especially teenagers and older kids as well.
Um,
So like,
I
do you
know.
think anime should have like a specific streaming platform, like how Netflix is there, you have Amazon Prime, etc.? Do you think like Crunchyroll is of course there, but do you think there should be something for anime only, considering like and taking all the ones animes on Netflix and taking all the animes from Amazon, etc., and putting it into one streaming service?
I mean, I think it still just sums up basically Crunchyroll, you know? If you had to take one or two of those anime out of the streaming services and put them in a very specific and tight anime website, I would say just remove all of them from the Amazon list, get them all out, because nobody watches anime on Amazon as far as I know. So Netflix is actually, I'm actually surprised of this because of this, Netflix is actually doing a pretty good job with bringing Netflix original animes, they are actually starting to get into the game of anime. They're actually showing that they are here to stay. They are making a big name for themselves in the anime community as well. So I would have to say that I think you should let Crunchyroll and Netflix be, because one, it compensates the people who have actually made the anime, and two, you should just remove the anime from Amazon. That's all. Let these two be. I
And
think it's a good way to compensate the creators. That's all.
And exactly, and like a lot of people do not resort to Crunchyrolls in the end because it's like a paid website, of course. And
Yeah.
it's precisely like Netflix, like you pay for like a subscription and then you can watch all the anime you want to within that
Hmm.
time. So like people usually resort to like pirated websites or like free websites in that way. But do you think
I know, man.
so
Yeah.
what's like your thought process in terms of that? Do you actually support like that side of it, or do you want people to have like a designated place to go and actually pay for their subscriptions? Because like again, a lot of animes take a lot of work to make and put it on streaming platforms, etc. So do you think people should do their due diligence and actually pay for a streaming platform like Crunchyroll and stuff, moving to free websites, pirated websites, etc.?
Yes. I wholeheartedly support using, official websites who distribute anime, because again, you want to make anime mainstream, right? You want more anime to come out with a higher budget, a higher production value, to get much better live actions. We don't want another Death Note, live action Death Note, or another live action Dragon Ball Z. And for that, that's just one step into contributing to that future. Stop, like, please, just, I would suggest not using pirated websites and just go ahead and use the official ones. They're much better.
So we definitely don't want to see another Dragon Ball Z live action. Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Not at all, bro, not at all.
That
Yeah.
it was so sad to watch because I'll be honest, I
Ah,
didn't even
yeah.
know Dragon Ball Z was an anime when I watched the live action. Like I know I was very I was really like young at this point, and I just watched like the entire movie because the trailer looked good, and I've heard of like
Hmm.
the entire Goku thing. Like I've heard of it before, right? And
Hmm.
because I had older friends who used to watch it, so I wasn't really familiar with the Dragon Ball Z line. And then I watched the movie, and I was like, what just happened? I was really confused.
I
And
know it's
then
really confusing. Yeah.
and it seemed pretty okay the first time I watched it. But then when I went and watched the anime, I was like, oh my god, there's a difference in levels here.
Oh
Like
my God. Yeah, there is.
you can't compare. It's a crime to compare. So
Hmm.
like it became that bad. And talking about that, like all animes come out so often, right? Like even
Yeah.
like the Dragon Ball Z movie had come out such a long time ago, and since then there have been so many newer animes coming out,
Hmm.
etc. Are there any favorites of yours, like which are going to come out, like haven't been out yet, but like the most
Uh,
anticipated ones, basically for you?
okay. So as I said, I keep a list of the upcoming seasons of anime. So the one I'm most looking forward to right now, as of now, is well, okay, Jobless Reincarnation second season. The first season was a banger. It was amazing. I really liked the first season, and so I'm just looking forward for the second season as well. Yeah.
I mean, same. Like, not being like a huge anime person, even I'm really waiting for the Cells at Work Part 2. Like, oh,
Nice. Oh man, you're a cells at work guy, huh?
I used
Even
to
I
be.
watched it. Yeah,
I mean, like Cells
pretty
at
good.
Work 1 was, it really like got me into like the entire Cells of Work thing. And now
Huh.
when I saw the trailer for the second season, I'm just like, this needs to come out really quickly. And
Oh,
it was,
even this one, Attack on Titan season 4 part 2. You know, the final season. I
oh
feel like
yeah,
that's on
exactly.
everybody's anticipation list. It's like nobody has left it out. Every Oh wait. Oh my God, how could I forget? How could I forget? Okay. Chainsaw Man. You have to watch the trailer for Chainsaw Man. That's probably the most anticipated anime right now for me. Chainsaw Man. I feel like
And
I'm just riding the hype train right now, but that's it. That's the one I want to watch.
so like I'm sure you like go to all of these, you have like your own anime discords, anime Instagram pages that you watch. Any in particular that you like
Yeah.
recommend for like people who watch anime a lot to keep like stay trendy, I guess?
Um, I don't as such follow anime Instagram pages or Discords for that matter. I actually do have a group chat, but it's all personal, like 30 guys of mine, like 30 associates, you could say. And we basically discuss all the weeb stuff, all the anime and the music and whatnot. For that, you could actually go into the Discord servers and the Instagram pages and whatnot, but I do have to warn you that they tend to be a little more toxic than probably anything else you experience. It's like,
I
yeah, I mean, don't go on Twitter threads related to anime. I would just strongly recommend against it. It's just a bloodbath down there. You don't want to go in there. So if you want to actually discuss anime with somebody, just find somebody who likes anime. Maybe you could make a friend online. There are many ways to do so. Do that.
exactly, and like how you
Mhm.
previously stated, there are Anitubers,
Yeah.
Antubers,
Oh, yeah. Anitubers. You
yeah,
can watch
Anitubers,
Anitubers. Yep.
exactly.
The
So
three
that
most famous ones, I think, are like Joey the Anime Man, Gigak, and Sea Dog BA. They even have a podcast together, so you could check out those guys. They have really good taste as well. Yeah,
I mean, it's such a growing industry like anime. There's so many more coming out.
it
There are
it
so
is. It is, man.
I know so many anticipated animes as well. Like the
Hmm.
platform keeps growing, especially when very famous and OG serials like maybe like One Punch Man, Dragon Ball Z, Death Note, etc. are coming up with new seasons, new storylines, etc. So
Hmm.
it's growing. And where do you like see this going in like the next 5 years? Like where do you see anime in the next 5 years? Do you think we'll actually like level up or upgrade to live action as well? Or do you think it'll take us a little more time than that?
I mean, fingers crossed, man. I hope we get to that level, but I if I have to be frank with you here, I would prefer anime to just remain anime because, like, okay, anime has a certain charm to itself. When you put into live action, it kind of dulls it out. Why you watch the entertainment, the anime you watch, is because of the fantasy, the high fantasy, the adventure, which you can get from the animation in the anime. You might not necessarily get that from live action, but I hope we can do. I hope like we get good live action films as well. So fingers crossed, man. I do like anime better than live actions, or I think I would. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, just like you said, like it kind of takes away the entire high fantasy version of what an anime, like what anime lovers
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
like an anime. So
I
like,
mean, you could have that anime level of fantasy and anime level of indulgence, but
mhm,
you would need like really, really high budget. You would need like Marvel level high budgets for that. You know
mhm,
what I'm talking about? They
yeah.
have such good CGI and such great team behind them that they're able to accomplish such things. So I would like that for anime, and I hope that in the next 5 years we are able to reach to that place.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And like, it's obviously growing, and at the pace it is growing, I can probably see it like improving a lot in terms of like animation as well, improving a lot in terms of storyline as well. And the audience, of
Hmm.
course, it will keep growing. And talking about like your like how much you've watched anime, etc. Like I've had a lot of other friends as well who watch anime, and the regular anime that I get recommended a lot is Haikyuu, and everybody talks about how motivating it is, how good it is to watch, how it changes your mentality in a way.
Yeah,
So
I know, man. Yeah, it
I'm
does.
sure
It does.
I'm sure you've watched like a lot of anime serials like Haikyuu so far. So like basically how has anime as a whole like helped you out as a person, like mentally, physically, anyhow, motivating in terms of motivation, in terms of
Um,
inspiration, etc.
yeah, man. So if I had to say, Haikyuu is the most motivating piece of series I've ever watched in my life, because I don't know, it's something about the anime. It's perhaps the underdog story about the two main characters or the entire group of characters. They're just one upping their game. They're just getting better at it, and how it just makes you feel motivated and inspired, and you also want to get up from your chair and do something. You want to run, you want to jog, you want to perhaps excel in studies. You could do that maybe by watching anime. I would say it has had a big effect on my mentality to do things, but it's for everybody. Like, if Haikyuu doesn't work for you, there must be some other anime which could motivate you in such a way. So I would say Haikyuu is a strong recommendation from me. But if you're not into sports anime, or even something like shonen stuff, I would still recommend Haikyuu to you. It's not just about the sports. There's a lot of story behind these guys. They fight hard to work. You know. Yep.
I mean, I guess like even like I said, like a lot of anime is watched by a large number of people mainly because of like the high level of fantasy and how much adventure action there is. And
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
a lot of
Haikyuu
like
drifts from that a little bit. Yeah.
mhm. And like how a lot of people, especially like anime beginners, if I can really call them, people who just introduced to anime, they
Hmm.
really like anime because of the level of action there is, the level of like
Uh, yeah.
fight scenes, etc. So do you think like what would you recommend in terms of shows which kind of drift off? Like obviously anime is not just like the action and
About
the
the
fight
action. Yeah,
scenes.
yeah. I know.
There's a lot of
Uh,
other animes with like sports related, drama
uh-huh.
related, funny animes like we spoke about Odd Taxi before,
Ah.
which is not only funny, it's like there's a criminal investigation and stuff like that. So like any other shows which you like branch off from fighting a little but still keep that anime feel, what shows would you really recommend?
So, yeah, as you said, like fighting or the shonen style isn't that is everything to anime, is there? I've seen a lot of beginners who watch anime like My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, or One Punch Man, Attack on Titan, and all those are amazing. Believe me, I feel like it's just on the preference again. But if you do want to get deeper into the level of anime you watch, I would say that shuffle it up a bit. Maybe watch some drama like Vinland Saga. I would highly recommend Vinland Saga to you. You could, for comedy, you could watch Nichijou. It is a really, really funny series, and it has made me laugh out loud a couple of times. So I would recommend that. Prison School is one funny one, okay? But like, you know, it's a funny one. You just have to look it up. Prison School. It's a fun anime. So yeah, those are a couple of anime recommendations that you could watch instead of always fighting and all that. You could drift off a little bit.
I mean, I think we remember. I remember we spoke about Vinland Saga a lot, and you kept like complimenting its animation, its storyline, etc. And you
Yeah.
really
Oh
liked
my
it.
god, the story. Oh, it is good. It is really good. The story, like,
So like,
mm,
exactly, and like me, I'm like a casual anime watcher, right? So I know you're
okay,
very like common, your One Punch Man, your Death Note, Attack on Titan,
yeah,
Dragon Ball Z, like you're very normal stuff. The animes that people just get into when they start watching anime. Whereas
hmm
you know not a lot more about anime. So, do you think like I'm like a casual fan? Do you would you consider yourself more hardcore in terms of like anime? Like the entire debate about casual versus like hardcore fans in a way. So, do you think I'm still like if I like Dragon Ball Z, but I just watch like a certain parts of it, but you watch the entire thing? Do you really consider yourself more of a fan? I guess of the anime like community.
okay, okay. First of all, I've never watched Dragon Ball Z. I have to be straight with you here. Okay, Second, it's again on the preference. If I would not blame anybody if they haven't watched Naruto, One Piece, or Bleach, I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't call them, oh, you're not hardcore because you didn't watch the first big three. It depends on your preference. I would say that again and again, because if you like a horror anime, and you're really hardcore into the horror genre of anime and you just keep up to date with it, and somebody else doesn't like your taste, you could say that you're not a hardcore anime fan, or you might be, or you might not be. It's all depending on someone's view. It's all depending on someone's preferences. Overall, I would say that I would personally consider a hardcore anime fan to be someone who has watched all sorts of anime, something they don't actually usually watch. For example, you have the beginner anime fans, or I actually just consider them beginner anime fans who really get into the shonen, the power stuff of anime, you know? And they hardly drift off from that genre. So I wouldn't take my recommendations from those guys, but I would like to hear my recommendations from those who have actually gone out and looked for anime, who have, you know, watched a couple of genres of anime, different animes, drama, fantasy, romance, comedy animes. There are tons of them, and you could be hardcore in each one of them. It just depends on you.
I mean, just talking about like casual versus hardcore, there are a lot of
Yeah.
like people who don't usually get into anime call it like a
hmm
cartoon, even like to that extent.
Oh my
So,
god.
as like
Yeah.
a real like anime nerd, I guess, would you do you get offended
Hmm.
when people call anime cartoons? Like, what is
A little
your?
bit. Yeah, a
Mhm.
little bit. I don't show it personally. I don't show it on the internet. I would get a little bit offended on the inside. Like, don't call it cartoon, man, because you see, the notion behind cartoon is that it's mainly for children. Like, I feel like people who call anime cartoons don't have particularly an idea of what they're talking about, because anime, rarely I would say anime is meant for children. It's mostly meant for
Mhm.
young adults and adults. So much of anime is heavy. They talk about heavy topics like suicide, murder, rage, losing someone's family. There's just too much. There's so much to anime just besides the cartoony stuff, just besides the children watching it for fun anime, you know?
I think
So
that probably
yeah.
stems from like shows like Doraemon and Shinchan as well, which are, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
original. Like they are animes in the end, if you think about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like maybe it's the idea of calling anime a cartoon stems from there because like the animation factor is the same,
Yeah. I
except
mean, for
for
India at least, in India, I've been like, listening, watching Doraemon and Shinchan since I was very little.
okay. So other than anime, like you've watched so much of it over the years. It's been
Hmm.
like you said, like it's been almost 5 years since you started watching anime. So, well, like what shows do you watch apart from
Yeah.
that? Are there like any preferences you have, like in terms of crime serials or like horror serials, etc.? So, what kind of shows do you are you interested
Hmm.
in?
Yeah, I do watch a lot of other shows other than anime. Like, I think I stopped a couple of weeks ago since I started this new series. But anyways, So I do watch a lot of Marvel and Blacklist, and I really like crime thriller, and superheroes as well. Everybody loves superheroes. So yeah,
Wait, so are you as much of a Marvel fan as you are? Like, I mean, not as much. You can't really compare because you've watched so much of anime. But like, would you
yeah.
say you are like a hardcore Marvel fan as well?
I I would consider myself a hardcore Marvel fan. Like, if you ask me, like, I haven't read the comics. I have to tell you that, but I have watched all of the films, I guess, and watched a couple of series as well. Yeah,
Oh, so which is like your favorite film so far?
my favorite Marvel film so far. Okay, I really like Black Panther, then Infinity War, Endgame. Following that, I have to say Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then Far From Home.
So basically
All
the
that
entire thing.
pretty good.
I mean, same. I like
Yeah, almost the entire thing. Captain Marvel. Yeah,
Marvel has this very like nice way of fitting in fight scenes, humor, storylines, etc. They have a really nice way of
yeah.
mixing all of it together. So I mean, no wonder like a lot of
It's a
people are
very
into.
light and casual feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And like even Blacklist, I'm actually surprised you watched Blacklist. So how far have you reached?
just season one. I don't know. I didn't have much time after that.
So wait, you're still on like the Berlin saga, if I can call it
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Ah, so when he just gets
That
like,
guy. Yeah,
so he just gets granted the immunity thing, and then like
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah.
after
He
Berlin.
does. He does.
That's
Hmm.
so cool. So like, what other shows? Like, I'm really curious because you just named two of my favorite ones shows to watch. Like, it can be any. Like,
Okay, Sherlock. Sherlock.
oh my god, Sherlock. It's like, it's honestly my go-to. I rewatch it like every 4 months now. Whenever I forget the story. So
You
which?
don't say. You haven't watched Sherlock?
I mean, like it's like one of my
Come on, bro. We
most
both we both like we
recommended.
both like Sherlock, obviously.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
like we've
seriously.
known each other for so long now. Like, I would say like since seven, so that's approx like 5 years. Am I wrong?
Okay, okay. Wait, tell me. Benedict or RDJ? Favorite Sherlock?
Oh, come on. You can't put me in the spot like that. That's too hard. But I don't know. But I think
For me, it's easy.
so the thing with me is that overall, I would prefer Benedict because I think he embodies Sherlock more. However, I do
Yeah,
think RDJ is more charming, and it's not more charming, but it's like his natural personality in a way is like a more of a charm personality than a very serious sociopathic
yeah, yeah,
detective
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. So like I think Sherlock just felt
Same.
Benedict just embodied the weird personality of Sherlock more than RDJ.
Even I,
But
even I like the Benedict one more than the RDJ one. Although both of them are really good.
I mean, I don't know whether you're seeing like the Justice League Flash version and the serial Flash version,
Yeah,
like
I
those
have
two.
I have a little bit. I have a little bit.
So like, I mean, we have seen him before, like one actor being there for the movies and one actor being there for the serials, kind of thing. So like, so what do you prefer? Who you prefer, Benedict or RDJ, and why?
Benedict, as I said, he embodies Sherlock more. I think he captures that more sociopathic feel, and I also think that it's filmed a little better. You can understand things much better with the whole word words flying around in the air. I think, yeah,
Yeah, that's really cool. So on
yeah.
that note, right, before we keep going on, I mean, we've
Okay,
been friends for so long, we have a habit of carrying conversation forever. Like,
yeah. After this ends, we just talk. Yeah, it's okay. Just
yeah,
going off for
exactly.
now for the catch up.
So, exactly. So again, thank you so much for being on the show. Like guys, trust me, I talked to Varun first because I knew he would be really excited to be on the podcast as well. So
Yeah.
when I spoke to him, he was so excited and we both spoke about what were like partially were the topics we're gonna talk about. And it really wasn't that hard because I mean we've known each other for so long. Hey guys, thank you so much for reaching the end of the video. Please consider supporting the channel by hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and most importantly leaving a comment down below, because I will read every single one. There'll be new episodes coming out every single week, so please don't miss out on them. I'll see you next week. Peace out.